Our backup is our YouTube channel. So we are streaming this simultaneously. There's no interaction, so I'm not watching the comments or anything there. But if you ever have a hard time getting into Discord, you can just pop over and use that as a backup option. That is up and running now, and we'll give it just one more minute before we get cracking here. Good morning to you, Greg. Now, the rules are this. Anytime it's light, especially when we're starting off, we need everyone to step up their interaction until we get everybody else in attendance. All right. Okay. Without further ado, officially, good morning. Welcome to the Market Watch Group midweek check-in. My name is Scott, and I will be your host. Couple of things as we go through our housekeeping matters to start the day off. If you missed last night's foundations sessions, you're going to want to go watch the recordings. And what I'm trying to do with those sessions is just give in the description, I'm not going too detailed, but just giving some highlights of like what was the core thing. So in the first one, talking about charts and setting up charts and understanding them. And in the second one, we talked about risk management. So I want to make sure that, when you go and you take a look in the recording channel and you decide whether or not you're going to turn that one on, you have a sense of what it is you're going to find. Of course, we're always going to analyze market conditions and potential trade setups. The one that's we're looking at for now is Meta. The questions we're going to have to ask ourselves are about how much consolidation we're going to get. We may not get much. It's strong. It may be just a pause, and then it starts to go. So we want to be ready with some candidates. Our futures are up again mildly, right? So, yeah, the buyers are just itching. There's not a lot of adversaries right now. There's not a lot of sellers. So it's an interesting time. Let's pop in. Here's the disclaimers. As always, don't forget, we're not brokers. We're not advisors. We don't give advice or recommendation. This is for education and illustrative purposes only. Our agenda today, let's look at the opening analysis. What's going on? We'll revisit our posture. Did we get it right? That's always the question when we hit the midweek. Is based on what we saw, did the market respond according to the expectations that we set based on that narrative, right? And sometimes we're going to be like, oh my gosh, I missed it completely. And then we're going to have to be ready on the next Sunday to make the adjustments to that. Mindset for open trades. Again, this is tough. If you're zooming into shorter time frames, and we'll look at that today, that might be useful. If you're doing that, keep in mind though, right? If I say, oh, you know what, I'm going to go down. I'm having a hard time finding signals. I'm not getting the pullbacks, which is exactly what's happening. If I go down to a 1 hour or a 2 hour chart, I change everything, right? I'm not just changing my entry and then I'm back to like, oh, well, now that I got an hourly entry signal, I'm back to thinking this trade's going to last 7 to 10 days. No, I don't think that. Right? If I'm entering on an hourly chart or a 2 hour chart, my time frame is probably at most 2 or 3 days. That's all you're looking for. You're looking for the momentum on that chart. You're not going to look at that chart and then go back. Now, what does that mean? if you switch your chart to 2 hours, the general rule of thumb for how often I need to look at my charts is dictated by the chart itself. How often do I need to look at a daily chart? At least daily, once a day, at least. That's the minimum expectation. If I have a daily chart, I can't go 3 days and then be like, oh, what's been going on here? Not with trades on. Well, then that same rule applies, that if I am using a 2 hour or a 1 hour chart, how often do I need to check my trade? Every hour, every 2 hours. That might be hard for Sandy with her time hours. And then you try to automate if you can. But it does change the dynamic. So you just have to be aware of that. If you ever look at when people are day trading and they look at 5-minute charts, how often do they need to look at a chart? Every 5 minutes. It's that simple. Right? It's that simple. Okay. So yeah, mindset for open trades. We're watching this bullishness. Hopefully you've got a little bit still on. Hopefully you've tried to pick up a little something, but at this point, discipline for patience is important for us. We don't want to just jump in because we're like, oh, it's up this morning, and it's a FOMO response. Just think about that. Fear of missing out. Review our opportunity list, exploring setups. We do have a couple of things, and we can look at the chart differentials by changing time frames. Trading plan progress. Remember, this week we're working on section 2. Okay, let's get into it. Futures, positive. It's all green. Does that mean it's just huge? No, it's 0.2 on the S&P, 0.15 on the Dow, 0.2 on the NASDAQ, but pretty good on the Russell. Remember, we said we're back into that battle for third, meaning our small caps going to develop enough backing by investors that they, again, push into a leading position. Well, this, where it's up 0.65%, this is certainly helpful. S&P, NASDAQ, I return to gains as retail earnings. Target blows past profit forecast as price cuts pay off. The price cuts also, they stopped people from stealing. That looks like laundry detergent. Did people steal a lot of laundry detergent? I guess. Seems like a hard one to put in your pocket. What else? Now you can see, this is now the question. Is 50 basis points cut on the table? Yeah, clearly it's on the table. Let's pause. In fact, a third of the market, theoretically, based on this probability factor, expects that it would get that. I believe is anyone in our group? I don't think I've seen anyone say 50 basis points. Has anyone said 50? I think 25. Anyone want to weigh in on that? Let me know. Last night you said 50. Did you say 50 last night? I don't remember. Okay. My bad for missing that. Pressures for, see, I don't know. You got, I think the pressures for 25, the hope is for 50. that's more the wishful thinking, like, yeah, come on. Yeah, I agree. Interesting. Okay. What do we have coming out today? Minutes. Not much expectation there. I don't think that the market's like, oh, maybe looking for some information coming out of that meeting that might help to the market better understand which it is going to be. I don't think we need that meeting. I think it's going to be 25. Jobless claims supposed to be back where it was. Jer Bear speaking on Friday. Yeah, that's about all we have. That's about all we have. Let's go take a look here. Yesterday, we dojied. That's our indecision. Now, we still have, I would say, this area here from where yesterday's high, around 560 or so, up to 565. So that's about 1%. There's a 1% cushion right now. I still can't draw, but only on this chart, even after the reset. I got to figure this out. Maybe ChatGPT can help me. That's my new tech support channel, ChatGPT. Tech support, life coach, spiritual advisor. Doji. Today, we expected to open just a marginally higher in this range. But like I said, we have a little bit of a cushion that if we popped up in there, I'm not like, oh, we broke out. This thing is on fumes. When we were here, it was like, hey, this is already seen the biggest we've seen in some time. And then we just got 3 extra bonus days. Plus possibly today. We are opening higher by $1, but I don't know. We'll talk about it. There's the opening bell. Yeah, this is a tough sell. Let me show you what I mean when I say dropping down to like a 1 hour chart. So if you look on an hourly chart, you might be looking for something like this little turn right here. It comes down, it pops, and then you're saying, that's it. Right? That's it. And you can see it moved, but it was like, that was it. You only had. So if you remember, right now, most of the time, when we talk about swing trades, we're typically like 5 to 9, 7 to 10 days. But really, it's periods. 5 to 9 periods. 7 to 10 periods. It's just that in this regard, periods happen to be days. If I'm looking at a 5-minute chart, 7 to 9 periods. That's 35 to 45 minutes. Using a 5-minute chart, that's how long I would expect to be in the trade, 35 to 45 minutes. If I am looking at an hourly chart or a 2-hour chart, 7 to 10 or 5 to 9, whatever it is, right? 5 to 9 periods. That's 5 to 9 hours. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you're done. If you carried it to the next day. Now, I'm not saying that this is a day trade by any stretch. What I'm saying is, that trade's just not going to last very long. You're not looking for as much, right? Theoretically, we're seeing something similar. We had a little bit of a consolidation. Now it looks like it's trying to turn and it's trying to hook. If at the end of the hour, this looks like this could be viable signal where you say, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. And then what am I going to try to get? It moves about maybe 1%, maybe 5 points. You're looking for this to get up here to maybe 565. I'm not encouraging that by any stretch. I'm saying if you find that you're struggling with patience and you just are like, I want to trade something, but I don't want to make a mistake, This is the kind of thing you can do. Obviously, I'm going to do it smaller and lighter. I'm not going to do a bunch of these. I'm just going to say, hey, I want to try to catch a couple of things here. Let's see what the 2 hour would look like. Let me know if you have any questions about that thought process. I mean, you can see even on the 2 hour chart, this stochastics has been basically overbought the whole time. So I would say the 2 hour really didn't give very much by way of pullbacks either. The 1 hour really is the only thing where you got like a sense of, where are you, 1 hour chart? There we go. Good morning, Bob. Watch the DNC till midnight. Okay, there you go. Election season is heating up, getting interesting. It's been interesting the whole time. Okay. So it's only 4 minutes in. We're not going to make any claims about the follow through or the opening range yet. We're going to give it some time. Let's go look at the VIX. What does the VIX tell us? The VIX tells us that we've now, God, it's so hard to get a read on the VIX because of how tall it was. I mean, it's just hard to read. I want to zoom in, but if I zoom in, it becomes even harder to read. PJ, you're right on time. You're never late. No apologies. Right on time. You got here when you needed to get here. I'm glad it picked up. We were a little light to start off with, but it's good to see everyone trickling in as the market opens. You didn't miss anything too important. We just did some housekeeping. Yeah. Do we believe that the VIX has bled off all of its fear? I mean, it sure looks like it, right? I don't even know that we're going to get above 17. Maybe. If we do, I think that as this thing moves up anywhere between 17 and maybe, I don't think we're going to get back above 20. I think that was such a weird overreaction. But I got to tell you guys, when it overreacts, when you're in it, you're not like, oh, this is clearly going to be an overreaction. You're like, man, why is there so much vol, right? Why is there so much fear coming in? Like that retail traders can't push that up like that. The answer in hindsight is the fact that institutions are just as emotional as anybody else, right? And so do institutions panic, and do institutions sometimes make rash decisions? Yes, 100%. Okay, so now what's our thought? Yeah, this is it. We are in our setup opportunities to some extent. I mean, it may pull back a little bit more, but we've shook off a lot. Our posture, real quickly. Where is it? Market. I swear, it just keeps shutting on me when I don't want it to. Onboarding docs and resources. Market posture. Are you in trades, and how are they doing? That's a question. That is a question. So is everything holding up the way we expected it would? We put our modern on 1, slow on 2. Yeah. That sounds about right. Let's go take a quick look. I'll tell you one thing, it's not going anywhere without us. Did we do the right thing by putting this back into the prior trend score? For me, it's a definite yes. Definitely yes. Yeah, I mean, that's where it belongs. It got back in there pretty quickly. So I'm happy with that. That score's going to stay the same this week. We raised this by a half a point. 62% trimmed it. Trimming on Friday. What a beautiful concept. That's what Fridays are for. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Very nice. Thank you for sharing, you guys. So it's Wednesday. So this is Sunday right here, right in between these 2 days. And we're like, yeah, our market posture is jumping. And then what? Yeah. Is this enough to get another quarter of a point? Yes. For me, it is. Definitely. Why? Because it took this high out. That's a higher high. We took out this high. We haven't taken out this high. But I'm going to definitely... you covered Kelly. Yes. Yes, I did cover Kelly. Kelly was discussed in detail in the intermediate session. So beginner session charts, you don't need to worry about that one then. You'll like it, I think, Sandy, and then come with questions. Yeah, I think we're right on, and I think that's likely to go up another quarter of a point. Volume. Okay, so volume, I think there is a very good chance that volume is going to drop or is going to rise to 0. It's not going to go positive because it's really hard for it to go positive until we shake this off back here, but it will definitely, let's see, we'll get rid of this and then this and then this. So yeah, we're going to shed this day. We'll be here. I think the volume could go to break even, to neutral. I think that. So I think as of right now, I think we're veering towards an extra quarter of a point here, quarter point here. Major market, I don't think anything. Sectors are looking good. I think we'll see a quarter point there, quarter point there. I think we're going up another point. I think we're moving to a point, to a 4.5. That's as of now, though, and it's Wednesday. Could things change over the next couple of days and then we're completely reassessing? Yes, obviously that's true. I think that my posture will increase, but I also think that we're more at resistance, and so my trading posture says be cautious. I don't want to slap a bunch of trades on in the face of resistance, right? Spitting in the wind. But I do think we're on track with what we're seeing. I do think that the strength is there. The underlying strength is there. So that's my thought. Let me know if you agree, disagree. But we're looking to get a good chunk of that, another good chunk of that back. So that's great. Let's go through our watch list and see where it puts us. Good old Jer Bear. Jer Bear. I'm wondering if we're going to hear from my guy, Goolsby for Fed, the hallowed and revered Dr. Sir Arthur Goolsby. It's not Arthur. It's Austin. I know. I'm changing his name. Arthur's more distinguished. He's not on the calendar? Oh. The Goolsbyites. No, that doesn't sound right. The Goolsby heads. That's better. The Goolsby heads aren't going to be happy with that. The Goolbeans. Oh, I'm telling you, how happy will I be if there's a 10-year reign of Arthur Goolsby as Fed? When he retires from Fed, I retire from trading. We're linked. He and I. We are joined. Ride or die. Let's get to the watch list. I keep getting distracted by you know who. I'm telling you, I'm anxious for a good fall. My son is graduating from college this fall, which is awesome because I don't have to pay for it anymore. And we're going to take a trip to the UK for Christmas. It's going to be amazing. And I want a good rally leading into that. Oh, yeah. I need a pullback from Apple. I need a pullback from Amazon. Okay, AXP, you little cup and handle. Boom, boom. Just V'd right back. Yeah. Financials. AXP is on my list as an early setup. BAC also on my list. So where we want to be thinking from a broad standpoint, are there any sectors that are starting to show the signals? And clearly, right off the bat, financials are there. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you. I will. It's his last. He plays soccer, so he goes to Montana State University, and he plays on the men's soccer team. It's his last season of competitive sports. I think he's kind of excited. He's had some injuries, and he's ready to be done. We get to take a couple of trips and watch him play soccer just a couple more times. I'm excited about that. BLDR, gotta wait. Citigroup, you see it now, right? There's another flag showing up. We see the pattern coming in financials. Financials are giving us some prospects. 3 for 3, right? I see it. Industrials, maybe. That's enough. It doesn't have to consolidate down. I actually look at this and think if this popped out of that little 5-day base, if it popped out of that, I think I would consider that a go. I mean, based on our market posture, increasing, yeah, right. So I'm thinking about that. I kind of pulled back on my interest in these more defensive stocks. Sorry, my train of thought is all over the place today. I can't speak. These defensives, but they've pushed. This one's pushed. Coke's pushed. I don't know. I stick to it. Okay, so now the question is, was it an overreaction? I mean, I would assume that whatever the CEO put into place is still in place for Chipotle, right? We'll see if the market thinks so. It's gone through, right? It was down here and it went up, pulled back, and now it's trying to make this a higher low compared to this. So from a trader standpoint, viable. I might wait for one more sign to be sure. Costco. That's it. Even, oh God, I don't know. I say that. From a flag standpoint, it had a consolidation and turned. It's bumping its head right up against these old highs. Woo. Yeah, that's a judgment call. I mean, you could trade this signal here. If I go into the Heiken Ashi, it's going to be a nice candle there. I could have my stop underneath here. 8.6. God, it's an expensive stock. I wish Costco would think about a split, right? Give us a 10-1 and put it back in the $80, $90 range. It's easier to trade options when they're down there. I can tell you that. They lose liquidity when they start to get expensive. 868, that's about what, 16 points, and if it moves, it should be able to move about 50 or 60 points. That's its tendency. So I'm thinking about Costco for like a. I would say that financials and industrials are more setting up. As of right now, I would say Costco and maybe still Meta. We'll see when we get there. Carvana, consumer discretionary. Looks like it's kind of moving into that flagging consolidation. We'll see. Yeah, Fastenal is just a little bit jiggly, isn't it, Miguel? I can see what you're talking about there. Maybe trying a little bit of a hiccup pattern. GBTC, kind of flat. Gold just made new high, starting to pull back. General Motors, still going. Consumer discretionary, still going. Google. As I said, I was a little bit concerned about if Google's going to pull back or not. Home Depot, right up against its old resistance, so you got to be careful there. There's small caps. JP Morgan, add another one. So right now, for me, the setups are in the financials and to a secondary place, in industrials. KBH is trying to. Right, like I said, I was in here. I'm like, I'm not really interested in the staples. That might have been short-sighted. Meta, ooh, it's not enough, but it's close. You got to be thinking about it. Right now we're at 529.90. The high of this is 531. Yeah, I'm gonna be thinking about it. MMM. There's another one that was defensive that just kind of eked a little higher. Morgan Stanley. There's another financial in a pullback. And all the pullbacks are very similar. Meaning what? They're all mild. Oh, Bob. Throwing out while we're in the M's. He says pull up a Mickey D's. Oh, there you go. That's another one. That was a beautiful, beautiful one back in here in this little setup. For me, though, I think we're at the tail end of this move, but I think I'll add this to the list. I like it. It's got some momentum. It's got an ability to get up near 300 on its next move. Let's put it on. Mickey Donald's. My family ridicules me because I will never eat at McDonald's except around the Christmas time when they bring back an old favorite, the McRib. I love the McRib. I love it. I get the twofer and I'll have two of them. I won't eat anything else from McDonald's. No, that's not true. I'll eat their breakfast sandwiches, and every now and again I'd eat a Big Mac. Big Mac's a classic. But the McRib is my jam. And everyone's like, that's so gross. I'm like, no, it's not. It's amazing. Oh, I can't wait for the McRib time to come out and get me a couple McRibs. They make me come in my office and eat it so they don't have to smell them. I don't even care. Okay. Where were we before we got distracted by the delicious McRib sandwich? We were at Microsoft, I believe. Oh, I don't know. I feel like we have to be patient. Like I was like, was this the pullback? You know, we're thinking about these one-day consolidations right now. I think I'm going to be patient with that one. Micron pulling back a little bit. Good to see. We'll see if the rest of the chips are following suit. Netflix pausing. So, okay. NVIDIA pausing. I didn't realize they were so close to earnings on NVIDIA. PLTR pausing, but not really pulling back. We need more pullback. Just sell it a little bit and let it come down. The Qs are just holding on today. The SPY holding on today. The range is in, not really up, not really down. TSM, oh, okay. So from a technology standpoint, I'm going to say chips are a little bit ahead of software, right? Microsoft and Apple aren't really showing it yet, but we have Micron is. We have NVIDIA sideways. We have TSM on a little bit of a pullback. So let's add chips to the mix, right? Now we've got a few things. This is what we were talking about, saying, hey, let's be patient. Let's see if we get some of these things pulling back. Do I not have AMD? I might not have AMD right now, Press. Let me pull that one up real quick for you. So, yeah, it's just a pause. That one's more like NVIDIA with its pause. But the pause is the consolidation. So I think we're starting to see it lining up and setting up. As far as I'm concerned, not really pushing for any signals today. We've got a couple things that we would think about, right? How's the dollar? Dollar's it's down here now. VIX is up a little bit more today, so I think we could see right now. Now we're moving into what may be that sell-off. Now we're more convinced than other. We actually said Wednesday, Thursdays when we thought we'd really start to see, and that's where we are. That's where we are. I'm excited for it. Oh, look at Walmart. All the way back up. All the way back up to the top of that old channel. Magnificent. Magnificent. Okay. Trading plans. Trading plans. We need to be working on section 2. Section 2. Yes, I found. Yeah, Miguel helped me find this where I had more detail. Market forecasting. Here's my routine. What am I doing here? What am I doing with my long-term trend? What am I doing with my short-term trend? Conduct a trend analysis of the SPY in a 6-month. I believe this is the one that was posted. So you have, again, I don't expect you to just rewrite everything. You can copy and paste anything that you feel is worth copying and pasting. Oh yeah, I was like, I know I put a lot of work writing this out. I'm like, holy shit, where did it go? Oh goodness. Market posture. What is my posture? Trading posture, implications, hedging. That's what we're looking for, right? Is that this is kind of the crux of what we do as a group. And that is work off the philosophy that you got to get the market right first. That's it. Right? That's why we track it. I think I'm, as far as I know, and you can tell me if you've seen otherwise, I don't know of any other group or service that tracks their historical analysis of the market. And if you don't have that, I don't see how you can accurately look backwards and learn from your experience. I can learn from each individual trade, which is useful for my rules. But overall trading is so connected to the market. You can't do it. You can't miss that connection. And so it baffles me when I see people that don't look back and have the ability to pinpoint that the mistakes they made probably were that they got the market wrong. Like, how do you, if you miss that, what mistakes are you going to find? You know what I'm saying? As Press said the other day, you're missing the forest for the trees. So anyways, awesome. Good day. I think we're getting close. Let's maintain patience and discipline. Glenn will be here this afternoon for an hour to chat about market close. Foundations classes resume tomorrow. We'll definitely be trading. My I don't know what Glenn will be doing. Probably trading. I know in mine we'll be trading. We don't have any topics. We're going to be looking at trades. So have a great rest of your day. It's great to see everybody. As always, happy trading.